And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from Braemar Arena. It is the Bantam C State, check that, Bantam B Bob O'Connor tournament, as we are looking forward to this matchup featuring the Minnetonka Bantam C Black and the White Bear Bantam C's, as they will go at it. We'll get you through the route and their paths to this game, as Minnetonka is wearing their home sweaters with the blue trim. White Bear Lake in their traditional black with orange and white trim as well. Moving from left to right across your screen. This is the fifth in 6 straight games of championship hockey here on Championship Sunday from Braemar's historic West Arena, as the puck will be played back in deep to the zone. White Bear Lake's Tate Paulson will give chase. Andrew Hosefield gets the nod and goal for White Bear Lake, and it's going to be Crosby George for Minnetonka. Puck will be played back into the center ice area, and here they come with it on the move. That's Jack Barker across the line. He's going to be stopped there by Grayson Kanosh. Now it's going to be off to the right side for Minnetonka as they play that one ahead. That's Ethan Johnson that kicks it ahead. Minnetonka will find some real estate up the left wing wall as they'll battle along, and now it's going to be pulled out of there by Griffin Beckman. Beckman walks it to the slot area. That was watched out of the stick there by George. And now to the line, there's a wrist shot that's going to miss the mark. That came off the stick of number 16, Blake Antonin. Actually, we'll make that number 15, and I don't have a 15, so I'll have to do a little bit of research here, see if I can come up with that for you. There's a nice little play there. That was Gage Peterson. My mistake. Blake Frizen was there as well. Now they're going to regroup into their own zone. White Bear Lake at the center dot, looking to find some real estate as they'll push that one back in across the line. Jackson Barthol. He'll be watched on the play. That's Griffin Beckman back in behind. Now Minnetonka will outlet to the right wing side. I'll come over and cut that off. White Bear Lake to center. It's going to be Tate Paulson. Goes back up against the grain. Paulson gets it back as a man open on the near side. Looking for it was Griffin. Jaden Griffin across the line opens up. Wanted to go high, but that was deflected off the cage of Crosby George. Now a left wing shot that's going to be blocked up high. That was Alex Schneider. Now it's going to be played through center. Oh, that puck was nearly into open territory for Minnetonka, but instead behind the net it goes. It's going to be Schneider. Schneider looks up to the left wing side. That's Blake Antonin that breaks that one up. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Good luck with that. Now it's going to be White Bear Lake again. Griffin off a pair of skates into the center ice area as it's going to be backpedaled by Jax Bergscheit. Now it's picked up by Johnson. Ethan Johnson across the line. He worked in on Jax Bergscheit, who had a nice defensive position there. Now it's Venson. He looked toward the goal mouth area, pulled away there by Bergscheit as he'll play that through center as it'll work its way all the way down. In on goal as Hosefield will play over to the right wing side. Out comes the White Bear Lake Bears. Are going to be stopped by the skippers in the neutral zone. That's Blake McGee. Now Minnetonka in control in front of the left wing wall as they'll play that one the length of the ice, and no ice there. Alex Schneider, he collides together with Ryan Scarlett. They continue to battle off the end boards. Now it's Ethan Johnson. He's going to be hit there by Aiden Steiner. Steiner, big frame, comes away with it from the slot. That's going to be handled there by the goaltender. Nice catch glove save there by Andrew Hosefield. Goaltenders have been dialed here early on. From the draw, that's going to be back in behind to the near side. As this will make it the length of the ice for an icing call. This will send it all the way down. Oh, that's great. I forgot this is big boy hockey where the goaltenders fire it down the length. For the linesmen, they keep the game moving. That's awesome. From the draw, that's been like a big thing at high school too as well. Weinstein was there. Actually, for goaltenders, probably not a bad way to work on your shot as well, as that was covered there by George. Took exception to a Bear player coming in with authority, and there's a little bit of extracurricular activity there. Off the draw, that's going to be played back down the wall. That was Friesen there. There's a quick slapper that's off the end boards. As they'll play this one back up into the right wing side. White Bear Lake will regroup and play this around to the far wall. Gage Peterson is there. Gage Peterson runs into a little bit of trouble there as Minnetonka now working the forecheck. Over to the right wing side. Nice job to take that route away. Now it's Minnetonka back up ice. Jack Barker. He'll play this one to the slot area. That's broken up, and back out of the zone comes Blake Friesen. Now they'll have a big hit there in front of the bench area. You have a penalty coming up. And we will get possession here, and it'll be a matter of no time. Whoa, there's some extra curricular there as well. We got a rough and a hook. So the penalties with 9:06 to go in the period will be to Blake Antonin. And it'll also go to Blake Friesen of White Bear Lake. So that leaves us to 5-on-5, and they'll be out first whistle after their infractions have been served. Face-off controlled and played back in wide of the mark. And that'll be played toward the high slot area. Now they'll turn and fire. Pad save, a good look there. Nice save. Back into the center ice area it goes, as that'll be retreated and grabbed by the White Bear Lake Bears. Nice check on the near side there. Ethan Johnson finishes the deal as they'll play this one back up into the neutral zone. Now in front of the bench area they go. That's going to be sent back in behind. Giving chase is James Weinstein. Back up to the near side. Checked on the play was McGee. Now on the stick of Griffin. And played back in behind. Oliver Smith. He'll try and play this one from the corner. There's some pressure on the forecheck. Back up high to the left side. That shot will be deflected back into the corner as it's going to be Minnetonka. Ahead it goes. Back out of the zone. And they'll turn this one back up ice. Ethan Johnson. He'll play this one back over. There's a shot in on goal. That was fought off there by George. Now around to the near side. That one sits in front and in on goal, and that's going to be held there. A big bid there, as that was George to cover that one up. There's a chance. Oh, that one to the corner. And they'll play this one off the shallow angle there, as that one's going to be played up to the slot area. Some good looks there. Out of the zone comes Minnetonka as that one's broken up. Crowd is into it here tonight for sure. In the neutral zone, that's going to be played in. No ice on the play there. And now it's going to be Minnetonka to control. Off the end boards, that's going to be Bergscheit. Bergscheit with it, turns this one back in behind the net. Off the wall. That one's going to get through, and that's going to be wide of the mark. And that'll be Whistle down for an icing call. We'll bring it back into the Maple Grove zone. We are scoreless here in the first. Five-on-five play. We've had coincidental minor. The puck is played back over the far side. Minnetonka's Davis Gala pulls that one to the slot area. That's going to be turned aside. There's Gala again. Wrist shot in on goal. Rebound juicy there. Out off the stick of Hostfield and goal. Now Minnetonka will control in the neutral, and we have a penalty coming up. And it's a trip, as that one will be called on the Minnetonka Skippers. Looks like Josh Gatlin is going to go. Or rather, that's Porter Stein. I'm sorry. He'll go for a tripping call. Off the draw, in on goal. That's going to be handled there. That was Friesen with the bid there. Nice work off the end boards. Oliver Smith doing yeoman's-like effort here for the Skippers, keeping it to the outside. Up to the slot area. That's going to be laid back up to the line. Schneider pushes that one through, but that's going to be blocked away, and back out of the zone they go. Here comes Minnetonka on the move. Oh, nice stick check there. There's a shot that's going to be steered wide to the near side. Back up through the neutral zone they go. Here they come with the move. That's Friesen to the wide right side. Puts on the brakes. He's going to turn that one up to the line. That's going to be Paulson from the slot area over to the near wall. It goes now. At the line, captain played back in by Ethan Johnson. Johnson shot, blocker pad save made. That puck is off the end boards, and a nice save made there by George. Back up to the left wing. That's going to be feathered into the White Bear Lake zone as they retreat. And now back in off the end board it goes. That's going to be Weinstein. And now it's going to be controlled behind to the slot area. And it's going to be picked up and played off the boards to center. On the puck now, that's going to be Oliver Smith. He looks toward the middle. That's picked off. And here they come. Move knocked down on the play. Quickly try to get his footing there as that's played back up through center. White Bear Lake controls again. They wait for everyone to get on side. Here they go down the ball with Gage Peterson. He's watched closely on the play there by Jax Bergscheit. Now back up high it goes again. Here's Peterson. Leaves it off. The 5-on-4 continues. Nifty play there. Loads and shoots. That one stopped. Rebound. That one wide of the mark. Over to the far wall it goes. There's a foot chase for that. That's picked back up again. That shot sent in from far range. Bounces in on goal. And that's a stop made there. Skippers are now at full strength. Face-off play toward the net area. That was knocked away. Back up to the line it goes. Nice little move there. There's Peterson with it. Back up into the neutral zone. Over to the near side. It's Griffin. And now Minnetonka controls. And back down the wall they go with it. And forced to regroup are the White Bear Lake Bears. Barthel from the left wing side stretches it over to Griffin. He's going to be checked on the play by Gala as it's played back up into the neutral zone. That'll be slammed back in off the stick of Ethan Johnson. Back in from the corner it goes. There's Davis Gala again. Now look and play this one through center. White Bear Lake will control. Boy, they've had a really good possession time, a very solid team here as they maintain the flow and work it back in on the offensive zone. There's Ethan Johnson, save made by George. To the corner, it's Gola. He'll play that one up to the point, but that's kept at the line. Forced back into the neutral zone. Very active there on that play for the Skippers. And a nice play by Blake Attinen. Now the Skippers will try to advance this one ahead. Now down the wall it goes to Ethan Johnson. He'll walk that one out of the corner. Shot in a pad, save, rebound. Scores! Oh, the White Bear Lake Bears strike first as they find the back of the net. Impressive fashion. And they go up by a score of 1-0. Let's take a look at this one on the replay for you here. Big goal scored there. And it's 1-0, as I mentioned. Ethan Johnson, the goal scorer. Tate Goulet in on the assist. 2:37 to go in the first frame. And it is 1-0 White Bear Lake. They had the puck for a good chunk of that period and were rewarded. And there's a goal. They score. Nope. Are they saying no goal? I can't even tell. I guess that is in the net. I mean, that fooled me up here in the booth. Minnetonka responds back really quickly there. Jack Barker was going to be your goal scorer. It got real muddy around that area there, and you just couldn't really tell what was happening there. Puck will be played back through a pair of legs, and down into the corner it goes. And Minnetonka cycles back out of the zone with some speed. They carry this wide with Aiden Steiner. That one is wide of the mark. We're going to give that one to Barker unassisted. This goal came with 2:16 to go here in the frame. There's another chance in front on the backhand. That one goes wide of the mark. Minnetonka now finds some energy in the offensive zone. Played up to the left wing side. That one gets through everyone. It's Davis Gala with it. He'll play this off the boards. And now it's controlled by Minnetonka momentarily, and that's pushed ahead. It's Blake Frizen. Over to the near side it goes. That one's going to be chipped in on goal. They'll look to play a shallow angle bid there. Oh, they fight, they battle, they scratch, they claw. And that one will be covered and held onto by Crosby George. But that was absolutely some good looks down low there. White Bear Lake owns a 9-5 shot on goal advantage here in the first period. We're tied at 1. Frizen plays this one back in. Around the wall it goes. Let me edged off the stick and played back into the neutral zone. Alex Schneider. Here comes the foot race for the loose puck. Oliver Smith gets there first. Plays that one up around the near side. That gets past the White Bear Lake stick as they retreat back into their own zone. Here's Beckman with it. Beckman around to the left wing side. That's going to be cut off by Christensen. Actually, that was Ethan Johnson that played that to the far side. Christensen for Minnetonka makes the play. Now there's Smith for Minnetonka. That's pushed away to the far side by Ethan Johnson. Now to the corner it goes. Here's a foot race. Now Oliver Smith gets there first. Plays that up to the wall. And that one works its way through the neutral zone. And they'll backpedal to White Bear Lake. Tate Paulson with it as he'll come away with it. Paulson now looks up to the right wing side. On the tape there for Griffin. He'll outlet to the left wing side. That's a little bit too far. Bergscheid is there as he'll turn this one through, and that will do it for the first period. We put it in the books. It's 1-1 between these two teams in the Bantam C Championship. Great period of hockey. We'll have more coming up for you here shortly. And here we go to start the second period. Thanks for joining us here for this Bantam C Championship game. Part of the Edina Hockey Association Live Barn. Of course, our new Live Barn Studio edition here, and a Minnesota Hockey Game of the Week. Doing 6 of them here today. Making up for some ground where we got this thing launched, and we're having a blast. There's a nice pad save by George off the bid there from the right wing side. That's going to be played back in. Now, Minnetonka in their home whites, moving from left to right across your screen here in this second period from Braemar Arena. It'll be gathered in by Aiden Steiner. That's going to be off the mark. I'll chase that one down as Getlin. That one's going to hit Tate Goulet, and that'll be offside at the line. We'll face this one off inside the Minnetonka zone. Thanks for joining us here this afternoon. From the face-off, Minnetonka controls. They're going to angle this one to the right wing side. Nice little drop pass in on goal. Nice pad save. Hostfield comes up big right there. And that return feed was gathered and protected back in behind the net by Paulson. Now it's going to be White Bear Lake to play to the neutral zone. That was Landon Christensen. Now that's Getlin with it. Plays that in on goal. And once again, it's going to be Hostfield to take that one hopper in off the ice and hang on to it into his catch glove. Very securely there for his team. We will take it out to the neutral zone here. Off the draw, controlled by White Bear Lake. That'll be outlet to the right wing side. Oliver Smith plays that off the boards for Minnetonka. As now it's going to be White Bear Lake on the move across the line. There's a shot that's deflected up off the end wall. Waiting for that is Oliver Smith to the line. Nice job to cut that off. Now here comes White Bear Lake again. They look down low. We are tied at 1 here in the second period. From behind the net, that's going to be Steiner. Steiner is there as he plays that one up to the line. That's Barthel. Nice move as he gets away from the oncoming Jack Barker. That was played away from Barthel as Minnetonka tried to advance it out of the zone, but they ran into trouble on the way out. Now White Bear Lake, big check on the way back in by Steiner. Here's another check thrown. Steiner's not afraid to throw it around out there. Back around to the right wing side. That's played toward the slot area. That gets away from Creesh. Now it's going to be played back into the White Bear Lake zone. That's going to be Easton Curtis. Ahead they go. They got a man open on the left wing side. Instead, goes to the green right on the stick of a Minnetonka player as they're going to play this one behind the net. That's Scarlett with it. As he'll look to the left side, now tries to go up through the middle for Weinstein. And instead, it's going to be White Bear Lake to take the care and back up high into their own zone. Now they're down at the dots with it. Back through center. Got a man open on the left wing, but that was shut down pretty neatly there by Creech and another Minnetonka player, so they're forced to play this one in deep. Now it's Johnson with it behind the net. Minnetonka will play this one up to the line. That's deflected through and out by Weinstein. Now it's White Bear Lake taking back over as they're going to play that off the boards, and it's handed right back to Minnetonka. They're playing catch with the hockey puck like it's a frisbee right now. So it happens in tight checking playoff style games. That's going to be turned over up high. A shot, scores! What a great read there. That's going to be Benjamin Svensson with the goal as he puts his club up by a score of 2-1. Take a look at this one on the replay for you here. The big turnover to the slot area. And he's just kind of seeing it. That was deflected off his stick. Nice job to have the wherewithal to kick it from his skate to his stick, all in one motion, as he finishes there to make it 2-1 in favor of the White Bear Lake Bears here in the championship game of the Bob O'Connor Bantam C level 41st annual. There's another turnover down low from the slot. They score! Again, that's going to be Benjamin Svensson. Wow. He has back-to-back goals on the same shift, and he'll just swat this one home from the low slot area. He puts his club up by 2. That's the largest lead of the game here so far this afternoon. Take a look at that Svensson marker here for you real quick. There he is. Just sort of forced that one through from the low slot area. And wow, White Bear Lake with a push here in the second period are up 3-1 as we're back underway. That's being turned back by Minnetonka, says Aiden Steiner. And that's cut down from the neutral zone. And that's slammed back in. Wow. That's 2 in a row for Svensson. Ethan Johnson and Tate Goulet had assists on that goal. Wow. One of the first 2 here in the second. Scored 21 seconds apart, the 2 goals here. There's a loose puck. Nice save made there. Crosby George was there to make the save. Needed that. He's been good for his team here today. He's dealt with a lot here from this White Bear Lake edition. Off the draw, that's played toward the slot area from Gage Peterson. Ooh, they wanted to spring a player there to Minnetonka and Weinstein. We have a delayed penalty player shaken up in front of the bench area there for Minnetonka. I was looking up ice and missed it. Officials talked about it for a minute there at center ice. We'll see what they give us down by the box there. It's going to be a roughing call. It's going to go to Blake Frison with 9:21 to go here in the second period. So Minnetonka will go on the power play. Face-off win there by the Bears as they're going to slam that one through center ice. Minnetonka's Josh Gatlin will retreat and play this one ahead. Nice stick there at the line. That's broken up. And up and out of play it goes. Gage Peterson was there. From the face-off, that's played back up into the neutral zone. And the length of the ice it goes back in behind Oliver Smith. He'll play that one up to the left wing rail. And waiting on that one is Barthel to play that one ahead. Now it's going to be slammed into the zone by Kenoshi. And now it's going to be picked up by Minnetonka. Back out of the zone. Staying on that puck there was Antonin. And now it's going to be retreated and handled by Minnetonka. It was Oliver Smith. That's off some gear there, and it's going to be Antonin to play that one toward the goal mouth area. And the Bears are just going to slam that one the length of the ice, and that will get the icing call. But they'll get to change their group that's killing this penalty. Skippers will bring out a new set of power play specialists into the surface here. Cleared to the line. That's held in. Shot from far out. That's Scarlett that bid, but that's going to be off the end boards and controlled by White Bear Lake. Over to the right wing side. That's going to be Griffin. Nice job to play that one in by Steiner. Puck's loose down low to the backhand. Scores! Oh, Minnetonka replies. They needed that, and they've done it all night long. Twice they've needed to come up with big goals, and they get it. And there's another one. Wow, what a great goal scored there for Minnetonka. Hard working down in and around the goal mouth area there. As that is going to be Benjamin Svensson scoring his second of the game. No, I'm sorry, check that. Blake McGee. 7:41 to go here in the period. It's now 3-2. We'll get you that replay here in a moment on the next whistle on that goal. Over to the near side it goes. White Bear Lake will whistle that one into the zone off Benjamin Svensson's stick. There's a shot that whistles just wide. Big power play goal for Blake McGee. Scored that with 7:41 to go on the frame. Now it's going to be backpedaled and played back in across the line. And here they go. White Bear Lake, they're dangerous. Oh, lined up for the one-timer there. Not able to pull it with Svensson. He wanted it. Got it in on goal, and that's going to be handled by Jord. Here's a look at that goal on replay for you. Couldn't quite get the clear there, and you put that in the sure-handed Blake McGee, and he's going to finish. He did right there. Back underway from the White Bear Lake defensive zone. Puck is played up to the line, and that's a backhand slithers through to the far side. White Bear Lake will control through center. No ice on the play as their retreat. I'll look to grab this one. We have the Bantam B2 final coming up right after this. Jax Bergscheit to the corner. It's going to be underneath the stick there of Jackson Barthel. And here comes Minnetonka with energy. That's Antonin to the corner. Antonin looks to the slot area. There's a delayed penalty. That's coming up to the White Bear Lake Bears. That's going to be on Gage Peterson. And he'll go for a hold with 6:03 to go in the period. Power play was good to Minnetonka on the last series. We'll see if they can do it again here to even it up for the third time of the game, which should have been 0-0, 1-1, and potentially 3-all. Off the side of the net, there's Hosefield to jump on that and cover it. Ooh, player gets dumped, and we'll see if they take someone here. They're going to. So Steiner's going to go. So Porter Stein now goes. Actually, Aiden Steiner gets a rough and unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So he gets 2 handed to him. 4 minutes for the penalties there. 5:52 to go in the second. White Bear Lake down the wall. Another penalty coming up. This one will be on Minnetonka as well. And that will put the White Bear Lake Bears on now a 4-on-3 power play. That'll be abbreviated because then it'll be a 5-on-3 once that initial penalty is expired on Gage Peterson. So Blake Antonin gets a head contact, minor, and then he gets the 10-minute misconduct to go with that. So a couple of tough penalties for Minnetonka here within the past 30 seconds of play. So they'll have a lot of power play time to go to work here. Played to an open wing off the draw. 4-on-3. So much ice to work with here. Puck plays to the near side. White Bear Lake controls. Nice puck protection there. They'll walk along the corner. Oh, nice give and go. That one missed the mark for Friesen. As now it's going to be Minnetonka back up ice. Stopped at the line there was Josh Getlin. As White Bear Lake will play this one rink wide. Pickpocketed there was Gage Peterson. And now backing across the line they go with it. This will be walked into the corner. Around the wall it goes, back up high. Now it's going to be controlled by Schneider. His shot deflects wide of the mark. Now it's going to be controlled again, played up to the line. This is the 4-on-3 that continues. Back in to the right side. Schneider will step into that one. There's a shot through traffic that's blocked off Gala's stick, and he'll find an opening and set it in. Here comes a foot race on the puck. Hosefield has no choice but to cover that one as there is pressure coming in from the Minnetonka Skippers. So about to be sprung from the box will be White Bear Lakes' Gage Peterson. And this 4-on-3 turns into a 5-on-3. Back up to the line it goes. That's going to be played back down. That's pushed into the corner. Now Minnetonka will control with Weinstein. Looks up to the line. That was deflected. And that's going to be off the side of the net. They can't quite get that one covered It's going to be played over to the right wing. Here comes White Bear Lake. Nice stick check at the line to break that one up as Minnetonka will work it back up ice. That's going to be played back in behind the net. Controlled now by White Bear Lake once again. It's a 5-on-3 here as they'll carry this one into the offensive zone. There's a wrist shot that's fanned on there. Now it's Minnetonka on the move. Playing that one with great speed through center was Barker. And now it's going to be White Bear Lake. It's being played between the tops of the circles here, this part of the period. White Bear Lake now across the line with their 3-2 lead. They're led by 2 at 3-1 earlier. That one's sent back into the zone. Nice canceling check there by Bergscheit. Or a check that by Barthol on the oncoming Beckman. Ooh, there's a puck down low. Ooh, having a hard time getting a handle on that one was Andrew Hostfield. As he covers that one up, it hangs on. Now there's another penalty there off of that. Gage Peterson's going to go for a cross check. Well, you got to have like an actuary to figure this all out down there with all these penalties. All right, we're good to go here. Got the clock all sorted out with the penalties. Played up to the line. In on goal. Hostfield is going to cover. So we got 4-on-4 now. Seven minor penalties have been doled out for a total of 14 minutes in this period between these two teams. 3 for White Bear Lake, 4 for Minnetonka. And we have another penalty. This one will be on White Bear Lake. This one's going to go to, let's see, who do we got? It's a roughing minor. So now it's 8 penalties, 4 each here in this second period, which is kind of loosely going off the rails. We're not getting any flow here because the infractions. Both teams are competing hard, obviously. James Weinstein will take the draw against Benjamin Svensson. Back in behind the net it goes. They'll fish that one up to the line. There's a wrist shot loaded up in on goal. Davis Gola. And that's going to be stopped and held onto by Hostfield. Face-off win. They're going to try and feather this one into the zone, but that's going to be too much, and an icing call back the other way. Offensive zone face-off once again. Minnetonka's James Weinstein will take the draw. Back up to the line. That's going to be a wrist shot that's going to miss the mark, taken by Jax Bergscheit. Now back into the stick. It's going to be turned back toward the goal mouth area. Carry him all the way up to the line. Steiner steps on for Minnetonka. Now they have a 5-on-3. Steiner will gather from the right wing. Since that one in on goal, that's turned aside by Hostfield. And now Minnetonka again to the right wing. They're going to carry this one with a shot in on goal. That was Scarlett with a bid there. We'll start over once again to the left of the goaltender. There's a puck that's off the back wall by Steiner from the draw. Up high to the line it goes. There's Gola. Rolled on him. Lost the handle. Now back out of the zone they go. It's White Bear Lake on the move. It's going to be a hustle play to the outside for Kanosh as that misses the mark. And now it's going to be Minnetonka in control. Up the right wing wall. That's going to get muddy along the rail there. And finally finding some real estate. This is 5-on-3. Now Steiner with a shot in on goal. Hostfield is going to hang on and cover that one up. Face-off win by Minnetonka. They've been good in the draw here on this power play. Played off to the far wall. That's Barker from the corner. This one comes back through the near side. There's a slapper. That's going to miss the mark. Barker is there now. It's a 5-on-4. As one more player steps on for the White Bear Lake Bears. They're going to try and trickle that one on goal. They miss the mark, and that's going to be an icing call. As another player was released from the bin there. That's Ethan Johnson. Getting close to a minute to play here in the period. So we are now, it looks like 5-on-5. One player serving a 10-minute misconduct. And now it's going to be White Bear Lake to play to center. They have the 3-1 lead here in this period. So it's fallen to 3-2. Back in the neutral zone. Weinstein threw some leather there to force the turnover, but White Bear Lake gets it back. Nice little play along the right side there by Minnetonka's Jack Barker. And that will do it for this second period. We put it in the books. We get ready for the third. What's going to happen? We'll soon find out. Third period will determine who's going to win this 41st annual Bob O'Connor Bantam C Championship Trophy from Edina, Minnesota. Thanks for joining us here. Wherever you're enjoying this, maybe you're in these snow-filled Twin Cities. That's a subtly sneaky snowfall we had here overnight and into today. Back up to the line it goes. Minnetonka's Getlin is there. There's a chance down low with a nice look in front. That was Steiner. Presence felt in the low slot area. And a penalty coming up. A player was injured on that one as well. I guess we'll keep it here at center ice for now. Yeah, things are getting dicey over there between the coaches. They're having words. Or so it seems. We're just going to let this play out here. Wow, it's getting heated on the ice. It's getting heated on the benches. Getting heated in the stands. And they're going to be sending, it looks like, one player to the locker room. Tate Paulson's going to go for a check from behind. He gets a major for that. And right now, that's the only penalty I'm seeing. Yeah, just going with those right there. Now, looks like Minnetonka now has a player that went over to the box there. And that's going to be serving is Landon Christensen. And it looks like it's unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not sure if that's coming from the bench or from a player on the ice. They're talking things over with the Minnetonka coaching staff. And I think, when you design the game, these are the things you really don't want to be standing around. It's, play the game with some flow, play hard, but it's penalties and things like this that can kind of get things off the rails and out of control. So now someone's going to need to serve the major for White Bear Lake, so they're heading over to the bench right now, the penalty box. So setting to serve Paulson's minor will be Benjamin Svensson, who scored the 2 goals back-to-back for this team. So he won't be able to score any from there. So they're, really think about it, they're down 2 players now. So 3 of the 5 minutes will be 4-on-4. And then it'll be a 3-minute major power play, barring any future penalties here in this one. We're underway now as it's controlled by White Bear Lake. They're going to play that one ahead for Gage Peterson. Now back it across the line they go, in on goal. That's going to be handled by Crosby. And will face off to his left. Puck is controlled. Be sent toward the goal mouth area. That was off the stick of Ethan Johnson. Now, Minnetonka will control to the left wing side as they'll look to play this one through the neutral zone, but they run into some trouble along the way. Minnetonka now in control across the line. There's a nifty move in on goal. Blocker pad save made as Aiden Steiner off the entry. Try to take it to the backhand. And they'll get some wholesale changes here. All of that occurred just 40 seconds into the period. Back up the middle it goes. Minnetonka controls to the near side. The 3-2 hockey game is that up in the air, and now it's going to be Curtis with it. He'll play it to the neutral zone. Waiting on that was Getlin. Getlin plays that one ahead for the stick of Beckman. Now to the outside they go with it. That's Weinstein. A shot that's going to miss the mark. This is 4-on-4, remember. I said for 5 minutes, but it was for a minute and a half. It'll be 4-on-4. That's going to be pushed into the corner there. There's Curtis with it. He's watched by Getlin. Down low it goes. And quickly out of the zone comes Minnetonka. They are on the move from center. Nice stick there to break it up. Look out. Here comes a follow-up. In on goal. Hostfield calmly makes the blocker pad save and covers that one up. As a reset in the White Bear Lake zone. Look to try to play this one back up the line. And through center ice it goes. Retreating is Oliver Smith. Smith played that along the rail. That's Griffin that was there. And now it's Minnetonka on the move. They're going to be 3-on-3 through the neutral zone, as that will be off the end boards and picked up by the White Bear Lake Bears. There's Griffin. He finds an opening, and he'll clear that one the length of the ice, and we'll have an icing call. Back the other way we go. So Minnetonka now will have the power play as they will. This is major power play, so they can score as many times as they're able. As we all know in the game of hockey, when a major is assessed, that's the luxury of that if you're on the power play. Back up to the line off the draw. That's going to be played off the far wall. There's Steiner with it. Plays that toward the goal mouth area. Hosefield will handle that one. Now a puck will be slammed off the boards there by Minnetonka's Josh Getlin. Getlin again as this is played to safety back into the neutral zone. We'll try to kick this free. Nice job there. Ethan Johnson stays with it. His shot's going to be wide of the mark. Now down low to go handle that one is Tate Goulette. That one comes to the near side. Now Minnetonka will fish this off the wall as they'll carry this one through center. They've got numbers across the line. That was Weinstein to the slot, broken up there by Johnson. They'll play this one to the right wing side. They didn't see it right in the skates there. Goulette. Now it's going to be played back in by Peterson. Back into the corner it goes. Goulette with some pressure. Now in to help out for Minnetonka is James Weinstein. They'll look off the side of the net. There's a bid behind. Nice stick there to break that one up by Oliver Smith. They're going to play this one off a pair of skates. That's Steiner out of the neutral zone. They're going to be 2-on-2 at the line. There's a long shot, stick save, rebound. Oh, good look there. That one off the side of the net, and reaching to cover that one is Hosefield as he keeps this thing a 1-goal lead for his team, and a nice bid there by Minnetonka. Off the draw, a long shot from far out. That's off Davis Gala's stick, and that's going to be into the catch glove and held onto by Andrew Hosefield. Boy, such a tense game. Teams have been really struggling to get flow. They had it earlier in the first period, but they are just battling for every inch of ice here, playing for this trophy. They score! Oh, Minnetonka goes to work off the end wall, and they score on the power play to even the game up at 3. Oh, my word, what a goal there. Porter Stein is going to pick up the goal there. Look at that. What a feed from down low. Jax Berkshire in on the assist as well. Wow, that was something else. So Minnetonka still gets to work on the power play as it is now 3-all. They've climbed back. They tied it at 1. We're trailed by 2 at 3-1. And now they have tied it at 3. There's a shot in on goal. Short-handed bid there for White Bear Lake. That was off the stick of Blake Frizen. Here's Frizen. He'll flip this one back into the zone. We'll bring it back into White Bear Lake territory. About 10 minutes left in this one. Anything can go here in the final 10. We'll see what happens. Over to the right wing side. Steiner's going to play that one hard into the corner. Now it's going to be the Bears. Nice forecheck. That one is fished free. They get it back up to the line for Getlin. His shot was blocked with a nice stick up high. Oh, an even better stick by Barthel. And they'll be offside at the line. Good defensive play up high in the slot area. Nolan Morris was out there as well. Benjamin Svensson. As we are back to 5-on-5. Off the draw, that's chipped off the boards. Minnetonka will play the left wing rail. And there's Weinstein. And they killed off that penalty. That's a 1 goal, though. That's what Minnetonka wanted. You have an opportunity like that. You just want to get the 1, and then you can go from there. Puck is played to an open side there. Nice play by Weinstein. Into the corner he goes. Now it's going to be off the stick of Griffin. Mason Griffin plays that one up to the right wing side. Jaden Griffin with it now as he's going to be bothered. Gets out to the slot, and a one-timer delayed penalty coming up at Minnetonka. It's most likely going to be a trip, and yes, indeed it is. As they will be on the power play, will White Bear Lake. Davis Scala goes for a trip with 8:33 to go here in the third period, rather. Face-off win. There's a wrist shot. Nice save made by George. One-timer off the rebound. Backhand down low. They battle. Picked up by the Minnetonka Skippers. They find an opening. Nice touch. So I don't think that's going to make it. Oh, yeah, it is going to make it for an... I didn't think it quite had enough juice, but it did. So we'll visit Crosby George's left. Face-off, pull back. Gage Peterson shots deflected. That's blocked up high at the line. It's controlled to the near side. That's going to be Goulet. He'll peel that one off the wall. That hits a pair of Minnetonka skates and Blake Antonin. They'll put on the brakes. It's going to be Barthol with it. He'll play it to the near side. Got it there for Tate Goulet. He'll get it back. Goulet across the line. He's going to carry this one to the slot. He's dangerous down low. Ooh, that one turned aside. A really good look there. Now back controlled by White Bear Lake again. Power play continues. Back in across the line. Drop pass for Johnson. He'll try to dangle his way to some real estate. And now from the near side, that's going to be Goulet. In front they go. And another penalty coming up. This one will be on Minnetonka. And it looks like it's going to be a tripping call. We'll wait to see who's headed to the bench here. Looks like Porter Stein is going to get put in the box. So now it's a 5-on-3. This is the second 5-on-3. Six penalties called in this period so far. $11 in the second. That gives us 17. And 5 more in the first. 22. There's a puck they try to force in off the side of the cage. Cleared but not out. That's blocked. Kept at the line. There's going to be Frizen with it. He fanned on that one from the right wing side. Frizen watched to the corner by Weinstein. 5-on-3 continues. Frizen from the corner trying to work his way out of the phone booth and does. Backhand bid off the side of the net. Puck trickles to the slot area. And the Skippers find an opening. Perfect touch on that one. Now it's going to be Griffin. Griffin to the right wing. Frizen. Oh, nice pass on the entry. That slapper misses the mark from Curtis. Back down low it goes. That's Goulet. His shot and a glove save. What a beauty there by George as he keeps that one out of the net and the score tied. Off the draw, in on goal, turned aside, rebound, puck's loose. Again, Crosby George is there to make the play. And keep this where it's at 3-all. There's a puck that's played back in behind. Controlled back up the line. Quick slapper. That one's off the end boards. A collide up on the wall. And that's going to be played through center. Over to the right wing side. Minnetonka will control. As they'll stay with this one. Play this one through the neutral zone. White Bear Lake will chase this one down. Now there's Friesen with it. It's off his stick and back in behind the net. Barthel will be there. You can see the next game lining up. Waiting to see how this one's going to finish as theirs will start shortly after. Scheduled for 5:30, but I'm sure it's going to be a little bit later. Let's play it off the boards. Nice play there, stepping back on the ice. Skippers are now back up to full strength. That's going to be Barthel who plays that one. He's bothered there by Stein. In front of the bench area there, Jack Barker tries to play it down the wall. Back up into the neutral zone. That was picked up by Peterson. Now it's Skippers that win the battle in the neutral. That's off Barker. Now it's 5-on-5 as we mentioned. Now it's Goulet back in behind his own net. Ooh, they're dangerously in front. That's going to be guided to an open wing. Minnetonka will handle that one. On the tape across the line. Oh, nifty play. Here's a open look. Oh, that one awfully close there as that might have caught iron. Up and out of play. Off the netting. That was a great look. Minnetonka there could have taken their first lead of the hockey game. Back up to the line. There's a wrist shot from the blue line. That one nearly found its way there. Minnetonka with some scoring chances pressing offensively here. Now it's going to be White Bear Lake as they advance it along the left wing wall. Nice work there to keep it alive. Near side it goes. That's Griffin. Picked up by the Skippers to the line, but not out. There's a wrist shot in on goal. Rebound. Ooh, nice save there. George got that out of the harm's way there. It didn't lie flat right there for someone to slam home. Oliver Smith to the left wing side. Spun around by Beckman. Ooh, that was nearly on the stick for Christensen. And now it's picked up by White Bear Lake. They've got numbers across the line. That wrist shot taken by Griffin is blocked. Now from the left wing, it fails to clear the zone. That's going to be off some gear back into the corner. Kenoshi was there. Well, there's going to be a puck from the left side, redirect to the near side. Back up to the line. That one gets through. Here comes a foot race. Ooh, we might have had a hook there, but we're going to play on. There's a shot that's drilled in back off the stick of the White Bear Lake Bears. They'll play that toward the slot area. That turns over. There's a shot. Scores! An absolute laser from up high. And wow, the White Bear Lake Bears reclaim a lead again at 4-3 late in this one. Oh my word. Wow, what a goal scored there. Ethan Johnson with 2:54 to go. Let's take a look at this one on the replay as you'll see how it just thrown it on net. Just damn, let's see what happens. And that's all it took. Lots of hockey left here, though, in this one, as White Bear Lake goes back up by 4-3. Minnetonka has had an answer every time. No goal! Across the line, the scramble. Scores! Oh, my word. The Minnetonka Skippers respond in kind as they tie it back up. They've had an answer every time here tonight. Oh, my word. Look at this scramble in around the net area there. That's the back end of it. I believe that's Aiden Steiner as he evens it up at 4 down low. Wow. 20 seconds later. Whoa, we bring it back to live action here right off the draw. That's going to be a high stick. We'll bring it back into the White Bear Lake zone. No, that was touched by a skipper. No, on that one. Played over to the right wing side. Now it's going to be Goulet in on goal. That's covered, loose puck. And they quickly come together there and keep anything from happening there off the end wall as it got dicey. Four to 4. Played to the left wing side. Puck's loose, low slot area. Minnetonka now. As they'll play this one back up through center ice. Wow, what a game this has been. I need a lozenge. Off the glass. It's going to be gloved down by Antonin. Now they'll hustle this one through center. Whoa, nearly gloving that down was Goulet. He had some real estate to work with. There's a puck that's played toward the goal mouth area by Morris. And now it's going to be Getlin who picks it up to the corner. White Bear Lake back to work in the offensive zone. Here comes Minnetonka. Back up through center. Cross the line. That was Steiner. They look to get it back to the slot area. And now it's going to be White Bear Lake. They have never trailed in this hockey game. Back it across the line. There's a stick save. Steiner to the or check that George to the corner. And now it's Minnetonka. The outlet, look out. Here comes a chance and on goal. 2-on-0, Antonin, the shot. Oh, that one fails to click. They look out front. Wow, that was to seal the deal right there for Minnetonka late in the game. Instead, we play on. Back into the neutral zone it goes. Skippers across the line. There's Goulet with some pressure. Back into the corner goes Gala. They're going to play it around to the near wall. And here they come. Nice work there for Griffin. He's going to try and carry it wide. He had Goulet with him. And now in front of the bench area it goes as they'll try to find some extra room. Back in across the line. Now on the puck, that's going to be Griffin. His shot in on goal. Rebound! Oh, puck's loose. Backhand bid. Shot, save, rebound. Puck still loose. Wow, George makes a save in there and turns it aside. Now here's a shot. That one hops into the corner. Now a slap shot from the line. That's going to bounce its way to the slot area. Wow, it's crazy finish here. Back to the slot area it goes. Staying there on the puck is Barker. And high stick will be called here on the White Bear Lake Bears. Will take it back into their zone in the closing minutes of this one. And that'll do it for regulation as we folks are going to head to overtime. We take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more right after this. We are in the shootout here. And now it's Minnetonka. They're up. No goal there. Jackson Barthel was the first shooter. Or check that. Blake Frizen was the first shooter. Crosby George makes a save. Now it's going to be White Bear Lake back up. And they'll walk this one in on goal. Scores! And White Bear Lake put one in on the board there. That was Barthel that ended up scoring. Minnetonka now back the other way. That one was a miss. And we will start once again back in the neutral zone. This could seal the deal if White Bear Lake can score right here. They'll walk this one in on net. And we'll just have to wait and see. That's stopped by Minnetonka. If you're watching this in Live Barn, you can always jump over and put it in pano because the camera gets confused when the official on the backside doesn't follow the play up. So they'll go with them for a while, and they'll say, okay, if he stops moving, then we lose sight of where it is. Oh, that rolled off the stick. And that one did not go. And there it is, the winners, the White Bear Lake Bears, as they are going to win in the shootout by a score of 5-4 in an absolutely crazy game here between these two teams. Boy, they competed to the very end on this one, and that was a really, really great hockey game between these two teams. So there you go. You have it in the books. We have the PWB2 Championship coming up next. White Bear Lake, the winners of the Bantam C level of the 41st Bob O'Connor tournament. And the championship will be theirs to take back to White Bear Lake. So long, everybody.